Guys, now please confirm to me. All of you get my voice on screen. Those who are attending in online. I'm audible, guys. Now please confirm to me. All of you get my voice on screen. Those who are attending in online. Am I audible? Is my voice on screen is clear to all of you guys? Now please confirm to me. Guys, everybody please confirm to me. All of you get my voice on screen. Those who are attending in online. Right. Good morning, guys. Right, sir. Now, in the last session, what we have seen, I think so. We are discussing about the differences between Java and other programming languages. There we completed already almost all 3 to 4 differences already we completed. What are the various differences here we have discussed so far? C and C++ are static programming languages, but Java is what? Dynamic programming language. The preprocessor is required in C and C++, but preprocessor is not required in Java. C and C++ are platform dependent, and Java is what? They platform independent. There I shown clearly how C and C++ are platform dependent and Java is platform independent. Especially, I shown one practical view also how Java is a platform independent. After this, after completion of this point here, the next one is the next one is pointers exist in C and C++, but pointers do not exist in Java. Then on the basis of that, we are working now. Try to understand it clearly. Pointer is a variable that is able to store address locations of the data structures like variables, arrays, structs, and so on, and other pointer variables also. In C and C++ applications, pointer variables are recognized and initialized at compilation time only, not at runtime. Example I've given how pointers are declared and how memory is going to be allocated. That information here I've given. Int a is equal to 60. Int a is equal to 60. Okay. Int star p semicolon p is equal to ampersand a. When we compile int a is equal to 60, a is a variable where 2 bytes of memory will be allocated, where the starting address location is 1010 and the 60 data will be stored in the memory. This is going to be happen when we compile this line. Int star p, when we take this int star p now, the pointer variable and it is declared and it is having some memory allocation. P is equal to ampersand a. Ampersand a is nothing but address of a. That address of a is assigned to what variable? P variable. 1010 is assigned to what variable? P variable. Indirectly, P is referring to this particular memory. Alright, sir. Indirectly, P is referring to this particular memory block. It's okay. This is about the pointer variable and its declaration and its initialization in C and C++. Why are pointer variables not existing in Java? Why these pointer variables are not available in Java? That we have to understand clearly. Alright, sir. Now, let us understand the content clearly. Observe carefully. Point number one. Pointer variables, pointer variables, pointer variables are pointer variables required static memory allocation. Pointer variable requires what there? Static memory allocation. But Java is following dynamic memory allocation. That's enough to say pointers are not suitable in Java. You know already this point here. In the previous point I given that at compilation time only pointer variables are having some memory allocation. So pointers required static memory allocation, but Java is following dynamic memory allocation. So that's the reason why pointers are not suitable in Java. Next point number 2. Pointer variables pointer variables are supported by the static programming languages. Pointer variables are supported by the static programming languages. But Java is a dynamic programming language. Java is a dynamic programming language. It is not like any new point, no. It is an extension of the previous point only. Okay, extension of the previous point only, but in a different direction I have given there. Pointer variables are supported by the static programming languages, but Java is a dynamic programming language. Point number 3, pointer variables are pointer variables are pointer variables are suitable in the platform dependent programming languages. Platform dependent programming languages. Pointer variables are suitable in the platform dependent programming languages. But Java is a platform independent programming language. But Java is a platform independent programming language. That's it. Again, I'm telling that pointer variables are very much suitable in the platform dependent programming languages, but Java is a platform independent programming language. Right. Sir. Next one is after that, pointer variables are able to store address locations of the data. Pointer variables are able to store address location of the data. It is very simple to introduce viruses related softwares, or it is very simple to introduce harmful code into our system. So it will reduce security in the applications. That's another point here. Pointer variable is representing address location of the data. If we catch the address location of the pointer variable or the data, we can do anything. We can do anything. We can introduce viruses there in that address location, or we can get the data, we can manipulate the data once if we know address location of the data through pointer variable. That's the reason why pointer variables are able to provide lesser security, no security for our applications. It will reduce security in the applications. But you know already that Java is a very good secure programming language. Java is a very good secure programming language. Java is a very good secure programming language. It will provide very good security for the applications. Because of this reason also we can conclude that pointers are not suitable in the case of Java. Alright, next point here. Pointer variables. All of you listen carefully. Pointer variables are pointer variables are providing confusion to the developers. Pointer variables are providing confusion to the developers. But Java is a simple programming language. It must not provide confusion to the developers. I'm giving one point here, now try to observe carefully. By nature, pointers are a bit confusion oriented feature only in general. But I'm able to give one more point, understand it no? There are two types of pointers in general, two types of pointers. One is the first type is what there. single level pointer, and the second one is what is the multi-level pointer. Single level, multi-level, two types of pointers. Single level pointer is what? Directly pointer variable is referring to the address location. Directly pointer variable is referring to address location of the data. That's it. That is a single level pointer. But multi-level pointer is available. What is this multi-level pointer actually? Multi-level pointer is what there? One pointer is referring another pointer. Another pointer is again referring another pointer. Like this continuously. One point is referring another pointer, another point is referring some other pointer, some other point is referring some other pointer there. Like this. When the data is going to be represented, we don't know. But this kind of chain process is going on. So if it is one level, two level, three level, okay. We can recognize, we can trace it, which pointer is referring which pointer. But if it is more than 10 level, more 7 levels or 8 levels now, definitely we are going to lose our control over the pointers are tracing. Understand it clearly. It's a difficult. At the same time, it's a confusion. We'll get confusion which pointer is referring which pointer like that. So because of this reason also we can conclude that pointers are providing confusion to the developers, but Java is a simple programming language. It must not provide confusion to the developers. Moreover, in the case of Java, all the syntaxes are straightforward syntaxes. No confusion, no twist. The bold and straight syntaxes we are having inside the Java, it is not like what there C and C++. Understand it clearly. So these are the reasons why. In all the aspects, if you understand it now, pointers are not at all suitable in a Java programming language. Pointer variables required static memory allocation, but Java is following dynamic memory allocation. Pointer variables are supported by the static programming languages, but Java is a dynamic programming language. Pointer variables are suitable in the platform dependent programming languages, but Java is a platform independent programming language. Pointer variables are able to store address locations of the data. It's very simple to introduce harmful code into our system. So it will reduce security in the applications. But Java is a very good secure programming language. It will provide very good security for the applications. Pointer variables are providing confusion to the developers, but Java is a simple programming language. It must not provide confusion to the developers. These are all the points what we are having about like what their pointer variables. Yes, sir. All of you are getting points clearly? Right, sir. It's okay, fine. Next one is after this, after completion of this content here, I have one more question now. Now, if you understand if you understand, so just I want to open a document, and yesterday I given the document here, images not available. Okay, no problem. Yeah, I'll create new document, no problem here. Yeah, it's already available. So what I given there, what is my question now? In C and C++, how pointer variables are declared that we understood already the last class. Int a is equal to 60, the data here we have taken. Int star p semicolon p is equal to ampersand a semicolon. This is the story here what we provided here. There yesterday we are given some clarity on this. So when compiler encounter this intersection, automatically a variable will be created. A variable for the t variable 2 bytes of memory will be allocated. Within the 2 bytes of memory, value 60 is going to be stored. Then after this, next one is when we star p. I think so. This is missing. No, 1 minute. minute. Int star p semicolon. Right. Now, so now when we compile this line, automatically pointer variable is created with some memory. How much memory? How much memory is required to store address locations? No, like this with some memory that pointer variable is created. When we encounter this in a section, p is equal to ampersand a. When we encounter this, automatically that value of that means address location, starting address location of that a variable is what there 1010 for example. That 1010 value will be stored inside the pointer variable. So indirectly, p variable is referring to this memory location like this. This is what exactly the step here we are having there, isn't it? So this is in the case of like what there C and C++. Clear. Now here my question is like what I am telling to you. In C and C++, a variable is referring a block of memory. That's the reason why this p variable is called what there a pointer variable. Clear? All of you have to know. A variable is referring a block of memory. That's why this p variable is what there pointer variable that we understood. Got it or not? But Java also what is going to be happen? In Java, we are going to write the programs. We are going to write the programs. In Java, we are going to write the programs by using classes. By taking classes only, we are able to write the programs in Java. Right. Now, let me check for it now. How I am going to provide this? Class A. For example, I have taken. But what is there inside the class? That doesn't matter for us. This is class A. I have written it. But if you want to access the members of any class, we must create object for the class. In Java, for every class, we have to create what their object to access the members of that particular class. So now I'm going to provide a small a is equal to new a object creation process here I provided. This is like what their object creation. In Java, when we execute this line, of course JVM is going to execute this line. When JVM execute this particular line, what is going to be happen inside the Java also? In Java also an object will be created. Object is nothing but memory block. Object is nothing but what there? Memory block. Object is not any other one. Object is a memory block. That's it. Okay. When object is created, that object is referred by a variable. What variable it is? No, a variable only. Object is referred by a variable. What variable it is? No, a variable. Right, sir. Now it is referring this block of memory. It is referring what there? Block of memory. I'm going to type. This is an object here. We have to understand. A block of memory is provided. This is like what their object. Understand the point? What I'm telling to you? Know? Everybody, put more concentration. No? Right, sir. In C and C++, a variable is referring a block of memory. That's why this variable is a pointer variable. In Java also, when we create an object for a particular class, there also a variable is referring a block of memory. That is an object. A variable is referring a block of memory. That is what there? An object. So now here my question is, why don't we call this variable as a pointer variable, and how can we say that pointer variables are not existed in Java? In C and C++, a variable is referring block of memory. So that variable is what? Pointer variable. In Java also, a variable is referring block of memory. A variable is referring what there? Block of memory. So why don't we say this variable is a pointer variable, and how can we say that pointer variables are not available in Java? Both the variables are same. Both are referring blocks of memory only. Answer my point clearly. Right, exactly. In this particular situation, if you want to, in this particular situation, if you want to give conclusion, pointers are not available in Java. First, we have to understand how this reference variable is creating. After that, we are going to understand how reference variable, this is called as reference variable in Java. That variables are not pointer variables. They are called as like what they are reference variables in Java, reference variable. It is not pointer variable, it is what the reference variable. If you understand how reference variables are created in Java, then we will understand how reference variables are different from pointer variables. How pointers are available, we understood up to now. But how reference variables are available, we are not aware about it. That simply it is pointing to the object. Up to that only we understood. That's why we thought of it, both pointer variables and reference variables are the same. But now, if you understand how reference variables are creating, then easily we can differentiate how reference variables are different from what their pointer variables. Now let me talk about how object is going to be created in Java, how reference variables are going to be created inside the Java. Let me talk about this particular point here. It's okay, fine. So this all of you know, I want to take class A. Again, I'm telling you inside this class A, what data is available, that doesn't matter for me. It is not at all required in this context. Just some data is available. Data in the sense variables and methods only. Okay, fine. This is my code. Now I'm going to create object for A. A small a is equal to new a. This is object creation process. Who is going to execute this particular object? No. Who is going to execute the Java statement? No. Java statements are executed by an engine. What is that engine here? No. JVM. C programs are executed by an engine. C engine. C++ programs are executed by an engine. C++ engine. Python programs are executed by an engine. Python engine. The Python engine is also be called as a PVM. Python engine is also be called as what there? PVM, Python Virtual Machine. Similarly, what is the point here I'm telling there? Java programs are executed by an engine. Java engine is also be called as what there? JVM. Right, sir. It's okay, fine. At the same time, Java is using one type of memory. Java is using what there? One type of memory. The type of memory is like what there? Heap memory. Java is using one type of memory. That memory is what there? Heap memory. Of course, the heap memory is a dynamic memory that we have to recognize. Okay, fine. To control this total heap memory, here we assign a person. To control this total heap memory, we assign a person. Who is that person actually? To control this total heap memory, that person is heap manager. The person is what there? Heap manager. Everybody put more concentration. No? I'm going to start our process here. Observe carefully. When JVM encounter this intersection, when JVM encounter this intersection for execution purpose, especially when it encounter new keyword. What keyword? New keyword. Remember it? Only new keyword is having that object creation implementation. Object creation process is available with only new keyword. All of you understand it clearly. Right, so now when JVM encounter this new keyword, when it executes that new keyword, immediately JVM will send a request to the heap manager about to create an object for class A. About to create an object for class A with some memory size. It will say to the heap manager, I need 10 bytes of memory as a single block as an object for storing A class data. For class A only we are creating object. So to store A class data in the object, I need A class object. So we have to assign 10 bytes of memory as an individual. That means as a unique, as a single block of memory I require. Immediately, what heap manager will do now? Heap manager will search for 10 bytes of memory. Yes, now it is identified. Yes, here 10 bytes of memory is provided. This is like what there 10 bytes of memory is provided. That is like what there object. A class object. 10 bytes of memory is created. That is what there A class object. Now object is created. Now here important point I am telling there. Now tell me, in this diagram, one time we created object, one object is created. But in Java applications, how many objects we are going to create? How many objects we are going to create in Java applications now? Is that only one object or multiple objects? Definitely multiple objects. So many objects here we are able to create. Depends on our requirement. Depending on our requirement, any number of objects here we are able to create. Got it or not? Okay. For example, multiple objects are created. When multiple objects are created, we have to recognize each and every object individually or not. We have to identify that each and every object individually or not. Either to store data into the object or to get data from the object. Definitely we have to recognize that objects individually or not. If you want to recognize objects individually, if you want to recognize objects individually, there we have to provide some unique identity for each and every object or not. There we have to provide some unique identity for each and every object or not. Understand this point clearly. So if you want to identify, if you want to provide identity for this object individually, if you want to provide identity for the object individually, automatically we need to assign some unique identity for that object. That unique identity is provided by heap manager in the form of like what there, in the form of 1 2 3 4, in the form of 1 2 3 4. That 1 2 3 4 is an integer value. That integer value is called as like what there, hash code of the object. That integer value is called as like what there, hash code of the object. Understand the point clearly? What I am telling to you, that unique identity, that value is nothing but what there, hash code of the object. This is like what I am telling to you, hash code. Now tell me, what is an hash code? Hash code is an unique identity provided by heap manager in the form of an integer value. Hash code is an unique identity provided in the form of like what there, an integer value. The hash code is what there, integer value provided by heap manager. Remember it, it is not at all any address location. It is not at all any address location. It is an unique identity provided by heap manager in the form of what there, an integer value. Understand it? To generate this integer value, so many algorithms are running internally. Internally, JVM will execute what their number of algorithms to get this what their hash code values. Understand it clearly. Different number of parameters it might be taken there. Okay. All right, sir. When a hash code value is available, immediately heap manager will take the hash code value. Immediately heap manager, heap manager, heap manager has submitted the hash code value here. That's like what there 1 2 3 4. 1 2 3 4. 1 2 3 4 is like what there hash code value. When a hash code value is coming, whenever the hash code value is coming there, automatically the hash code value is going to be converted. JVM will take already this hash code value. JVM will convert this hash code value into it's a hexadecimal form. AB56 is a hexadecimal form here. When hexadecimal form of hash code value is coming there, now this hexadecimal form is called as what there, reference value, object reference value. This hexadecimal form of hash code is called as what there, reference value. That's now hexadecimal of hash code is nothing but what there, reference value. When reference value is created, that reference value is going to be assigned to a variable. Reference value is going to be assigned to a variable. That variable is called as like what there, reference variable. That variable is called what there, a reference variable. From this entire scenario, what I am telling there, how reference variable is created. Tell me guys. Now in the reverse order, understand it no? What is reference variable? Reference variable is a variable which stores what their object reference value. What is object reference value? Hexadecimal form of what their hash code. What is hash code here? Hash code is an unique identity provided by heap manager in the form of an integer in order to recognize the objects individually. Right? That integer value, unique identity provided by heap manager in the form of an integer value, that is what their hash code of the object. Now tell me in this overall process, have you provided any statement like address location? Hash code doesn't have address location. Reference value is not having address location. Reference variable is not having what there? Address location. So this is exactly the meaning of like what there? AP56 for example, this is a reference value. So the point is what there? In Java, reference variable is able to refer a block of memory by storing object reference value, not by storing address location. But in the case of C and C++, pointer variable is able to refer a block of memory by storing what? Address location. But in the Java, reference variable is able to refer a block of memory by storing what their reference value of the object, not by storing what their address locations. That's it. So by that we can understand what is pointer variable and what is reference variable. Pointers are not at all possible in the case of Java. Right, sir. Now this is a simple analysis here what I have given. Now let me take this analysis here. I want to provide this content clearly, right? So before moving on to this one, now here I'm going to ask this question to you, interview question. What are the differences between pointer variables and reference variables? What are the differences between pointer variables and reference variables? This is a question now. Here, inside this, we have to answer for it. That's it. We have some of the points can now understand it clearly. The very first one is what there. Pointer variables exist in C and C++, whereas reference variables exist in Java. Point number two. Pointer variables are able to refer to a block of memory by storing its address location. Pointer variables are able to refer to a block of memory by storing its address location, whereas reference variables are able to refer to a block of memory. Here the block of memory is what their object. Here the block of memory is what their object by storing its reference value. By storing its reference value, where the object reference value is the hexadecimal form of the hash code. Right, sir? So the object reference value is the hexadecimal form of the hash code, where the hash code is an unique identity, where the hash code is an unique identity provided by, where the hash code is an unique identity provided by heap manager in the form of an integer value, where a hash code is an unique identity provided by heap manager in the form of an integer value. That's it. This is about like what the reference variable scenario. Next one is remaining points are like what there. Pointer variables. Pointer variables. Pointer variables require static memory allocation, whereas reference variables require dynamic memory allocation. Dynamic memory allocation. Next one is after this point number 4. Pointer variables. Pointer variables are supported by static programming languages and the platform dependent programming languages. Pointer variables are supported by the static programming languages and platform dependent programming languages, whereas reference variables are supported by the dynamic programming languages, supported by the dynamic programming languages and platform independent programming languages. That's it. Platform independent programming languages. These are mainly the points here we have to understand about the differences between pointer variable and reference variable. This is like what I'm telling to you about the total scenario related to like what their pointers. Pointer variables exist in C and C++, but pointer variables do not exist in what their Java. That's it. I think so you understood clearly about this point here. Can I move forward? The next point here, all of you understand it clearly. Yeah, point number 5. Listen, all of you listen carefully. Point number 5. Difference number 5, right? See this clearly, all of you know. Multiple inheritance does not exist in a Java. Multiple inheritance is not possible in Java. It doesn't exist inside the Java. Now see this. First of all, before going to start this multiple inheritance and its existence in Java, first we have to understand what is multiple inheritance. First, we have to understand what is multiple entities and how it is not available in Java. That point skill we have to understand. Let's see this point skill. All of you know, understand it clearly. First of all, now tell me, when a programming language is an object-oriented programming language, then we have number of object-oriented programming languages. When a programming language is an object-oriented programming language, and how a programming language is an object-oriented programming language. Understand the point here. If any programming language allows its applications to represent the data, to represent the data in the form of objects by following the object-oriented features, by following the object-oriented features, then that programming languages is called an object-oriented programming language. And that programming language is called what there? An object-oriented programming language. Please read out the statement what I have given there. All of you, put concentration on. This is also one of the important point here. The remaining points are simple points only. May not take this much of time here. Okay, almost in a single session I'm able to complete all remaining points, no? But these points here we have to understand. This is another important point here. Tell me, if any programming language allows its applications to represent the data in the form of objects by following the object oriented features, by following what their object oriented feature, if the data is represented in the form of objects in any programming language, then that programming language is called what? An object oriented programming language. Is that all of you get my point or not? It's okay, fine. Now all of you observe carefully. Now observe carefully about this. Okay, fine, definition is okay, fine. There are 7 numbers of the object oriented features. Nearly 7 numbers of object oriented features are available. What are the 7 numbers of object oriented features? No, the first one is class, and the second one is what there? Object. Next one is what there? Encapsulation. Next one is what there? Abstraction. After this, inheritance. Next one is what there? Polymorphism. Next one is what there? Message passing. That's it. These are like what there? All the features here we can understand. Come again, what are the 7 number of features now? Class, object, encapsulation, abstraction, inheritance, polymorphism, and message passing. Actually, this last one, message passing, people are not recognized as one of the object-oriented feature. By theory, it's also be one of the object-oriented feature. Okay, I'm going to include that, but nobody will include that in general, but it is also one of the object oriented feature. We'll talk about it in clearly in the future in object orientation now. Okay, fine. Now out of all these features, now what I required here? Inheritance part I required. Why? Because now I'm dealing with what? Multiple inheritance. That's the reason why I need what? Their inheritance. Now tell me, what is this inheritance? And before this inheritance definition, we have to believe, we have to trust one point. In object-oriented programming, programs will be prepared in the form of classes only. In the form of classes only, the programs are going to be provided. Class is the top level element in Java to represent a real world entity. A student is a real world entity, so class student. Employee is a real world entity, class employee. Account is a real world entity, class account. Transaction is a real world entity, class transaction. Like this, they are the classes here we are going to have. Understand it clearly now. So in object orientation, the total programming is going to be provided in the form of classes only. Remember it. Now observe carefully what is inheritance. It is a relation between classes. Yes, sir? It is a relation between what then? Classes. It will provide variables and methods from one class to the another class. It will provide variables and methods from one class to the another class. Right, sir. Now I'm giving clarity – where the class which is providing variables and methods is called a superclass. One, what is that superclass? No, the class which is providing variables and methods is called what there? Superclass. And the class which is getting variables and methods is called a subclass. Another class which is getting variables and methods is called what there? A subclass. That's it. Superclass and a subclass. Two things are available. That's it. Where the class which is providing variables and methods is called as a superclass, and the class which is getting variables and methods, and the class which is getting variables and methods is called what there? A subclass. What is superclass and what is subclass here? I'm giving there. But what is the main advantage of the inheritance? No? Right. If we declare something in superclass, that we can reuse in all the subclasses. If we declare some variables and methods in superclass, that we can reuse in all the subclasses now. So reusability. What is that? Reusability is the main advantage of the inheritance. The main advantage of the inheritance is code reusability. The main advantage of the inheritance is what there? Code reusability. Clear. Now understand it now. How many types of inheritances are available? Now we have to understand what is inheritance. I understood there. I'll show diagrammatically, no need to worry for it. But how many types of inheritances are available, that we have to understand. Listen carefully. Initially I'm telling there. Initially there are two types of inheritances. Initially there are two types of inheritances. What are the two types of inheritances initially? The first one is like what there? Single inheritance, and the second one is like what there? Multiple inheritance. First one is what there? Single inheritance, and the second one is what there? Multiple inheritance. Later on the basis of these two, three more inheritances are provided. On the basis of these two, later on, three more inheritances are defined. They're like what? They're multi-level, hierarchical inheritance, hybrid inheritance. Okay, but I don't require all this classification. I require only what there? These two only at present. But now I will give clarity. Later, later, there are three more inheritances. Later, there are three more inheritances which are defined on the basis of the above single and multiple inheritances. Later, three more inheritances are defined on the basis of the single and multiple inheritances. What are these actually? The first one is what there? Multi-level inheritance. Multi-level inheritance. The next one is what there? Hierarchical inheritance. Hierarchical inheritance. Next one is what there? Hybrid inheritance. Hybrid inheritance. That's it. These are like what there? Three types of inheritances are existed here that we have to understand clearly. Right, sir. Overall, how many types of inheritance are available overall? Five types now. Single, multiple, multi-level, hierarchical, hybrid. Okay, fine. But even I'm telling that I don't require all of them, just I require only this point actually. To introduce this one, then first one here I'm going to talk now. Right. So what is single inheritance? What is the meaning of it? Same definition. Single inheritance is very clear. Now observe carefully. It's the relation between classes. It will take variables and methods from only one superclass, not multiple superclasses. No, the relation between classes. It will provide variables and methods from only one superclass to one or more subclasses. Here, subclasses point of view, no condition. Any number of subclasses we can take, but superclass must be only one. Here the condition is going on number of superclasses. No conditions are available on what their number of subclasses. In general, people are thinking only one subclass. No, that's not the way. Any number of subclasses we can take, but superclass must be only one. That is what their single inheritance. Right, sir. Good. Java does support single inheritance. Java supports this for their single inheritance. Right. Now let me provide some diagrammatic representation. Now try to understand the diagrammatic representation. All of you observe carefully. That's it. Anyway, then we have taken already this diagram here in our document. Yeah, it's okay. Diagram already we have taken there. Now understand it. I'm going to delete it. Now get single inheritance. Here I'm going to provide. Now try to understand it now. This is class A. This is class B. Only one subclass only here I am taking, but you can take any number of subclasses, no condition on it. Only the condition on what there number of superclasses. Class A, class B. In Java, inheritance is represented in the form of upwards arrow, up arrow. Arrow header part is representing superclass. Arrow tailer part is representing what their subclass. In Java, inheritance is defined through a keyword. A separate keyword. That keyword is what their extends keyword. Inheritance is defined through a separate keyword. That is what their extends keyword. So this is single inheritance. Okay, fine. Of course, I can declare some variables and methods here that we can access here inside the subclass. That's okay. This is like what I'm telling to you, single inheritance, which is possible in Java. No confusion about this single inheritance. Leave this one. This is okay, fine. Now the next one is like what there? Multiple inheritance that we are going to understand. So what is this multiple inheritance now? Understand it clearly. Multiple inheritance. Multiple inheritance. Again the same definition. There is a relation between classes. It will provide variables and methods from more than one superclass to one or more subclasses. Now again here the condition is on what there? Condition is on number of superclasses only. Now tell me, it is a relation between classes. It will provide variables and methods from what? More than one superclass. It is not exactly one superclass. More than one superclass. From more than one superclass to one or more subclasses. It is a relation between classes. It will provide variables and methods from more than one superclass to one or more subclasses. Then it is called as what there? Multiple inheritance. Right, sir. Now, here the point I am telling there, Java does not support multiple inheritance. Java does not support what there? Multiple inheritance. Okay, now let me show the diagrammatic representation even for this. See this one. For example, this is one superclass. This is another superclass. Here I'm going to provide a subclass here. Right, sir. In between these two, this is a subclass. Arrows here I'm going to provide. Now try to understand these arrows. Through this arrows only we can recognize which one is superclass and which one is subclass easily. Right, let me give names for each and every class now. This is class A, the class B, now class C. Here we are getting it. Now here we are having extends relation here. So what's the meaning of it now? Class C extends A comma B. Class C extends A comma B. That's the point here we are getting. Yes, sir? All of you are getting clarity on this? Okay, fine. Now the next point here, what I'm telling to you after completion of this, listen carefully. A, B and C, C, A, B. Okay, fine. For example, I'm going to define int I is equal to 10 void m1 method Inside this some implementation, whatever it may be, something is available. This is my one superclass. Okay, class K. Now in class B, what I am going to do now, into J is equal to 20, for example, M2 method. That's okay, fine. This is in what there, superclass B. Listen carefully. But class is a child class for this A and B. It can access members of A and B directly. That class C is eligible to access, is having responsibility to access A and B directly. So here what we are going to provide there, I is equal to I plus 10 semicolon, J is equal to J plus 10. That both we can provide here. I is coming from superclass K, J is coming from what there, superclass B. Similarly, M1 method call, M2 method call, both we can provide. Here, M1 is coming from superclass K and M2 is coming from what there, subclass K. This is multiple inheritance, that scenario, what I have given there. Observe carefully. With this, we don't have any problem. Up to now, no confusion, nothing else. But still, it is not possible in Java. Even no confusion, but still, it is not possible in Java. Why? Because with this case, no confusion, but really multiple inheritance will provide confusion. In this case, I have not shown any confusion related point here, but multiple inheritance will provide confusion. What confusion it will provide? I will show next diagram. Then through that, Java people have decided to remove multiple inheritances totally from Java programming language. That is the reason why this case is also be not possible in the case of Java. But what is that case? Third case now. Why multiple inheritance is not possible in Java? Now let me conclude that first of all. Java does not support multiple inheritance. Why? What is the reason for it now? If we declare, listen, observe carefully the statements. No, if we declare same variable with different values and the same method with the different implementations in both the superclasses and in both the superclasses, and if we access that variable and method in the respective subclass, if you access that variable and method in the respective subclass, then which superclass provided variable and method are executed in the subclass is a confusion state. Is like what there is a confusion state, is a confusion state, is a confusion state. Understand it? I'll show in the form of diagram here, no need to worry for it. If we declare the same variable with the different values and the same method with the different implementations in both the superclasses, and if you access that variable and method in the respective subclass, then which superclass provided variable and which superclass provided variable and method are executed in the subclass is a confusion state. Okay, understand my point? In this case, confusion will come there. Okay, but Java is a simple programming language. It must not provide confusion to the developers. It will not provide confusion to the developers. Confusion to the developers. So Java has removed the confusion oriented feature like multiple inheritance from its applications. Java has removed this multiple names from its applications to avoid confusion from multiple inheritance. That is a simplified manner. Okay, don't worry. Same, whatever the information I provided to you, same thing. I'm going to represent in the form of diagram, then we can understand it clearly. Now, all of you understand it, no? Same representation here I'm going to take. This is one superclass. This is another superclass. So both are having a single subclass. I'll provide these names, and before these names now, Right. So now this is about like what there class A. Now this is like what I'm telling no class B. Similarly, this is like what there class C. Now here what we have there extends relation. Here class A, B and C. Then what next one here extends relation. Understand it no? Now inside this class A, we are going to declare int I is equal to 10 void m1 method where x implementation, this is my class A. In class B, int I is equal to 20 m1 method, but here y implementation is going to be available. In both the superclasses, we have access to the same variable with the different values and same method with the different implementation that we provided in both the superclasses. Understand it, no? In the subclass, I is equal to I plus 1, I is equal to I plus 1 that we called here. At the same time, in the subclass, M1 method call we provided. Here my question is, first compiler and JVM will search for I variable in the current class C. If it is not available, it has to get it from superclasses. The compiler and JVM must get that I variable from what their superclass. Unfortunately, I variable is defined in both the superclasses. Unfortunately, I variable is defined in what? Both the superclasses. Observe carefully. But here the question is, from which superclass I variable value will come to the subclass? From which superclass that I variable value is coming to the subclass? If you think I value is coming from class A superclass, I is equal to I plus 10, I is equal to 10 plus 10 now. What's the value here? I is equal to 20. Is it 20? If you think I value is coming from superclass A, where I value is what there 10, I is equal to 10 plus 10 now. I think one I given now 10 now. 10 now. I plus 10 now. 10 plus 10 now. Is it 20? Understand my point here now. If you take I value is coming from class B superclass, where I value is what is there 20, I is equal to I plus 10, I is equal to 20 plus 10 now. Is it 30? What it is actually. When we call M1 method is available in both the superclasses now. If you think M1 method is coming from class K, where what implementation is executed? X implementation. Is it X implementation? If you think M1 method is coming from class B superclass where Y implementation is available, what it is actually, is it Y implementation? Is it Y implementation? This is confusion. From which superclass that variable and method is coming? From which superclass that variable and method is coming is a confusion state. It is what there? A confusion state. Understand my point, Kerno? But Java is a simple programming language. It should not provide confusion to the developers. So because of that reason, Java has removed totally this multiple inheritance from its programming. Right, sir. Now this is the reason why that multiple inheritance is not available in Java programming language. Now this is a diagram here I've given. Try to understand it clearly. Okay, fine. But how does the Java avoids multiple inheritance? How does Java restrict this multiple inheritance? Observe carefully. To restrict the multiple inheritance, to restrict the multiple inheritance, that means to avoid the multiple inheritance, Java has provided, Java has defined the extends keyword in such a way that to allow, in such a way that to allow only one superclass name, not to allow multiple superclass names, not to allow more than one superclass name. Superclass name in the subclass declaration. I'll show examples, okay? Don't worry for it. To represent or to restrict the multiple inheritance, Java has defined the extends keyword in such a way that to allow only one superclass name, not to allow more than one superclass name in the subclass declaration. Now I'm giving clarity now the carefully. Class A extends B as valid. Class A extends B comma C. This is invalid. Here we can conclude that this is like what they're valid. Here we can conclude this is like what they're invalid. Why it is invalid, sir? Now tell me. After extends keyword, we are providing more than one superclass. If you provide comma here, just after the super, see, extends B is valid, no problem up to that. But if you put comma, error will come. Compilation error will come. Compiler will raise an error. If you put comma over there, automatically compilation error here we are able to get. That's it. That's a simple analysis. Then how Java has restricted this multiple inheritance. The first one is valid and the second one is invalid. Yes, sir. All of you get my point or not? Okay, fine. So this is about the multiple inheritance and why it is not possible in the case of Java. The points here we understood. Now observe carefully. In Python it is possible. In Python it is possible. How in Python it is possible there? The same situation, but it will take the order. It will search for the I variable and M1 method in the order of the superclasses. First superclass contains the I variable and M1 method, it will use that directly. If first superclass is not containing these two, then it will search for it in what their second superclass. If they are available, it will take that. In the second superclass also, if it is not available, then it will search for it in third superclass. I get my point or not? Order it will take so that it is able to get the variable and method here, so it will not get any confusion. But Java doesn't follow ordering. Blindly Java will check that so that variable and method is available at both the superclass or not. As available, definitely there is a multiple index, there is a confusion state. From which superclass it is coming there now. Java doesn't handle it properly, but Python has handled it properly. In this particular scenario, Python is good when compared with Java. Why? Because Java doesn't have any handling mechanism for this multiple inheritance. But Python had an algorithm actually. Python had a some small algorithm to find the resources in multiple inheritances. That's the reason why multiple inheritance is possible in the case of Python, but it is not possible in the case of like what the Java programming language. Is that all of you are getting clarity in this points now? So fine. This is exactly the meaning of like what there multiple inheritance and its related content here what we are getting now. Right. So now already we given this diagram here. It's okay. Fine. So finally, multiple inheritance does not exist in Java. That point here we completed. Next, let us come to the point number 6. Another difference here, observe carefully. Small difference, very, very small difference. Understand it clearly. Call by value and call by reference are possible in C and C++. But in Java, only call by value is possible. But in Java, only call by value is possible. Call by reference is not possible. Call by reference is not possible. But now this is a point here we have to understand. Now I'm giving clarity. All of you observe carefully. Everybody put more concentration. How, what is called by value and what is called by reference? First understand it. After that we are going to understand how they are possible and how they are not possible in C, C++ and Java. Later on we are going to understand it. First of all, what is called by value? You know already one point here. In a C programming language, functions are available. Functions. In Java, the same functions concept is available in the form of method. In Java, it is what? Method. In the case of C and C++, it is a function. Got it? What I'm telling to you. Alright, observe carefully. Everybody put more concentration here, what I'm telling to you. In any programming language, in any programming language, listen carefully. If we provide primitive data, what is it? Primitive data? Byte, short, int, long, float, double, boolean, char. All these are like what? They're primitive data. Byte, short, int, long, float, double, boolean, char. If you provide primitive data as a parameter to any method or function, whatever it may be, method or function, then the parameter passing mechanism is called by value. Parameter passing mechanism is what they call by value. Directly int if you pass, float if you pass, char if you pass as a parameter to the method, then the parameter passing mechanism is what they call by value. Right. Next, another point here. Then my point is what there in all programming languages. I'm telling there. Similarly, in all programming languages, if we pass, or in any programming language, whatever it may be, if we pass address locations as a parameter to the methods. What is it? No? Address locations as a parameter to the methods. Then the parameter passing mechanism is called by reference. Come on, what I'm telling there? If you pass primitive data as parameter, then the parameter passing mechanism is called by value. If you pass address locations as a parameter to the methods, then the parameter passing mechanism is what there? Called by reference. Okay, up to that it's okay. Next point. Understand the next point here. Observe carefully. In C and C++, if you pass pointer variables as parameters to the functions, or the pointer variables as parameter to the functions, then the parameter passing mechanism is called by reference. Why? Because what is the reason for it? Now tell me why. Because in a C and C++, pointer variables are able to store address locations. In C and C++, pointer variables are able to store what their address locations. Because of that reason, if you pass pointer variable as parameter, automatically we are passing what their address location as parameter. When we pass address location as parameter, automatically the parameter passing mechanism is what they're called by reference. That is possible in the case of what they're C and C++. But Java situation is different. Understand it clearly. In Java programming language, in Java, even if we pass object reference value as a parameter to the methods, what is it? Come again here. Even if we pass object reference variable as parameter to the methods. Object reference variable contains what there? Reference value of the object. Object reference value is what there? Hexadecimal form of hash code. Hash code is what there? Is an integer value, unique identity provided by heap manager. That is not address location there. Even if you pass object reference value, object reference variable as a parameter to the method, then the parameter passing mechanism is called by value only. called by value only. It is not called by reference. It is not called by reference. Why? Because what is the reason for it? No, in Java, reference variables are able to store object reference values only. Reference variables are unable to store are not having object reference variables are not having address locations. Yes, sir. Now, because of this particular reason, what we are understanding there, no. So, in Java, even if you pass reference variables as parameters to the methods, then the parameter passing mechanism is called by value only. It is not called by reference. Why? Because in Java, reference variables are able to store object reference values only. Reference variables are not having address locations. That's clear? All of you are getting clarity on these points now. So this is exactly the meaning of like what there, how call by value is possible in the case of Java, how call by like what the reference is possible in the case of C and C++. There's a point here. Right, sir. Then some announcements to you. Right now, testing tools new batch is available at 11 a.m. Testing tools new batch is available at 11 a.m. I think so. Yesterday, the demo classes were started there. 11 a.m. Testing tools class is available. Those who are eligible, we can attend for it. Okay. First, attend demo class. If you have any doubts, you can talk with our faculty. So they will give more clarity. If you have any doubts, okay, are we are eligible at present or not? Everything we can talk with our faculty. She will take the classes. No, right? Durga madam will take the classes. Next one is React.js. Right, so 5 p.m. Yesterday the demo class was started there 5 p.m. Actually, demo is totally running continuously in outside. Even 5 also I have taken the class in online, right? Are you attended? Okay, fine. See, in some situations, if that environment is not good, then I don't have any alternative by the time. Continuous running, right? Early morning 3 o'clock onwards, continuously running is going on. Even for me also, I started to come outside there, to come to this location here, but not possible there. So if it is a case, immediately I'll give intimation there. You are attend for like what there through online. In the case how I provided arrangements actual yesterday, if any one student is coming to this location there to attend for the class, then we are conducting some virtual class at second floor. We have a setup there. Even if I take online class, no, that class you can listen through TV at our location here. Even we given that arrangement also. So luckily might be no student has arrived here, no student has attended for it. You attended there virtual class, no? Acha, you got information. Huh? Uh-huh. Okay, fine, fine, fine. But have you attended that virtual class? Why? Online. Through your laptop you attended it. Okay, fine. So the point is what there? Without missing the class, at least we have to run the content kernel. So that will be good thing what we are having there now. Okay. So next one is React JS at 5 p.m. But I think so it is not suitable immediately for you. Just if you have time, if you want to attend for demo class, just attend demo class. Just ask your faculty if you have any concerns about it. UI technologies demo is going on at 10 a.m. UI technology 10 a.m. Okay. So as per our possibility, we can attend for it now 10 a.m. But all these classes are going on at second floor. At second floor, we can go there. We can attend for the classes. So they are the demo classes. Actually, these demo classes were started yesterday. Because of this rainy situation, no, the demo classes were not happened. So today they want to take the demo class, and that's why they are giving this notice there. But all these schedules as per for what their offline classes. All the schedules are for what their offline classes. Online classes schedule will come automatically. You are able to get notice of it from our admin people there. Now these notices I'm giving there for offline classes that we can utilize now. Okay. Right, guys. Now it's okay, fine. So three more differences are pending. Then tomorrow we'll finish it. No, tomorrow we are going to finish the total differences content here. Immediately we will start what there directly Java features. The topic we are going to understand. Okay, one or two topics are theoretical points only. Once we completed this total introduction part there, then we will start programming part. Steps to prepare first application development here we are going to understand. And people are asking to me when we have to attend 8:30 class now. Yeah, definitely. Then it may take not immediately. At least you need to complete first application development. You have to complete what their first application development. Then after that, we are going to attend for it. But hardly I'm telling there, week to 10 days of time we have to wait for it to attend for second slot. I'll take it definitely. No, okay, right, sir. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Shall meet on tomorrow.